education, housing, health, employment and social security. So I'm going to talk about education. In our country we have free education and education policies and like CBI programs and formal and informal educations. And when we are going to talk about forward of developing effective social care policies reach out unreached people in this country. If I talk about in Sri Lanka, we all can study free education and most of the students, children are studying. Some of students are cannot do that because of poverty. As a social worker, we all have to gather information and create a process. And if we create a process, we can reach unreached people.
So I'm going to talk about employment. So currently we have pensions, EPF, EPF and employment protection policies for the employers. So, but although those things have for the government sector and private sector, but there is a 60% of informal sectors in our country. So because of maybe they are not registered or maybe they are not recognized, they don't get nothing. So I think as for the way forward, we can reach them by legalizing their careers and also recognizing what are those unreached employment things. So by doing that, although we can coordinate those jobs by making coordinating mechanism. And also I'm going to talk about health policy. So we have, Sri Lanka has free health care. So but even though Sri Lanka has free health care, there are some people even can't reach for those services. So we can make, there are no disability care, we don't have elderly, for elderly people, we don't have any hospitals or යාලට වෙන් වෙච්ච හොස්පිටල් තාම නෑ ලංකාවේ මොකක්වත්. ඒක නිසා අපිට සමහර වෙලාවට දැන් ඒ වගේ වැඩිහිටියන්ටම වෙච්ච ක්ලිනික් වගේ දේවල් දැන් අපිට තියෙනවා සොයදී සහාය තියෙනවා ලංකාවේ. ඒක තියෙනවා අපිට ඕන රෝග වගේ දේවල් හඳුනා ගන්න පුළුවන් ඒ සහාය වලට ගිහිල්ලා. ඒ වගේම අපිට වැඩිහිටියන්ටම වෙන් වෙච්ච සහායයක් වගේ දේවල් තියෙනවා. ඒ වගේම ගම්වල සමහර වෙලාවට ඈත දුෂ්කර ගම්වලට ගිහිල්ලා අපිට දැන්ටවත් වෛද්‍ය සහාය කරනවා. ඒවට ඒ පැති වලටත් යන විදිහට මේ හෙල්ත් කෙයාර් සර්විසස් බ්‍රෝඩ් කරලා අපිට unreached people වලට rich කරගන්න පුළුවන් විදිය දේවල් කරන්න පුළුවන් නම් ඒක social policy විදියට අපිට අලාන්නේ කියන්නේ මේවා විනාශ කරලා අපිට හැමෝටම unreached people වලට richer විදියට හදන්න පුළුවන්. So
okay, let's move on about the social security. Initially we'll go with the social policy related to the social security. We'll go more on what is social security. That means we need to for the citizens, they need to ensure they are living a secure environment around the Sri Lanka, in Sri Lankan country. Based on that, we will move on the youth policies, child-related policies, elderly policies, disability policies, and some other human rights related policies are there. But all the policies are written methods. That's not an implementing process. They have some like a books. Like constitutional things, they have mentioned so many policies and everything, but the implementing parties comparing around 5 to 10 percentage upon the 100%. What are the implementing percentage related to the policies? That means there's the child policies. They have the women's 3 to 4 years women children who have they can't migrate for the employment. But nowadays we in each and every city the environment we can show so many children's mothers they're moving, they're migrating some employment things, violating the policies and the law rules. Like that, there's a youth policies here. We can compare our unemployment things. Nowadays, the biggest threat the unemployment thing, now Sri Lanka, now the election times, every politician they're giving, the next year when I come to the president or something, the person I will give the 1 lakh jobs for this and that. Now why? It's a political periods only they are mentioned, they are giving the jobs and things, the least areas, those are the major candidates also, all the ruling parties was there, but at those times they didn't give any jobs and those things. While the election periods only, as I mentioned, I will give the jobs and everything, but that will come or not. See, in future, come the presidents or something doing, they are keeping their things, he'll give the jobs or something. Like that, the elderly policies and disability things, they have some diabetes related patients, they're giving government related things, some empowerment things, give 4,000, 5,000 something monthly payment for the disabilities and elderly, those people. Based on that, those are the policies and everything. There's a written things, not an implementing thing. We'll see we can, as a social workers, how can we move on getting those ideas in the government governing sides, how can we support to empower those policies in future, and we'll see about the social security. The next one is the housing methods, those things. There's some 77 some projects that the poor family areas, the slum clearance for housing projects, and also up-country housing projects. Those are projects when we are starting the inauguration ceremony only be happening, but after those areas they didn't know they build houses or everything. Those things, there are so many issues related to the housing schemes that those are the 5 policies that equal thing, because everything is related to the social policies, everything is written forward and not implementing this. That's why we are proposing any ideas or everything. If you're discussing, like at an example in this session, we are discussing so many things, but we can't say we can move on we can take over those outputs in implementing those things. Like that, there's so many things, so many meetings and everything. So we are discussing so many things, but the implementing part is like a 1 or 2% we implementing based on those things. Like that, these are the social policies we are our team discussing about how to forwarding, and we are thinking we need to no need to as social workers we need to develop practical things. We don't need to the written things. We need to try to implement things. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you all presenters. As long as these presentations were based on our resource person's presentation, I have a kind request about what sort of feedback you would give.
Well, I think we have to distinguish between long-term policy development, long-term programming, and short-term intervention. You see, we are at a time in this country when we don't have time to think about, developing and implementing long-term programs. That is one line of action that we have to pursue. Certainly, we have to come up with, let's say, long-term perspectives on things that we discuss. There is no question about it. Therefore, we need to have a sound set of social policies cutting across the various divisions that we are doing. But we are living at a time when the majority of the people have come under enormous pressure due to a whole range of factors. I mean, we had the COVID pandemic. We have not been able to really provide, kind of, let's say, mitigatory measures to address even some of those things. But the other thing was the economic crisis that has really put so much pressure. And then, so the question is, what can we do now? Because we have the capacity to respond. Why do I say so? Because we have a large pool of, trained professionals, not just in social work, but in a whole range of other areas, and they are operating not just at a national level. Certainly national institutions are there. National institutions are coming up with various programs and so on and so forth. But the point is that we have a possibility to take action on the ground. And that is where we should be concentrating on immediately. And that is possible because we have the human resources, we have the logistics, we have the ideas. And I think there is also possibility for trying out different models. Say for instance, instead of dependent entirely on the state, which is actually very difficult for Sri Lanka right now, as I already mentioned, our fiscal situation doesn't allow the state to do more than what it is doing now. But the point is that we can have a PPP model, and we can really get the private sector, the public sector institutions operating at the local level, and we also can get civil society organized. In Sri Lanka, we also have, like in Bangladesh, very vibrant civil society organized. So the point is that you can have a PPP model. What we have to do is to basically reach out to people who really need intervention. Now there we have a whole range of people, not just elderly, preschool children, adolescent school children, youth, and then people with disabilities and so on. So now the question is how to get ourselves organized to do that. I think we have a tendency to really, generate information, data, and we basically passed that, data set to Colombo. And then in Colombo we collect, and then we basically sort of analyze at a macro level, at a population level. I think what we really need is to, basically generate data at a local level, at a household level, and basically aggregate them at different levels. Let's say at a community level, as I already mentioned, we can have a system, monitoring and intervention system. Actually, you can have a database for every community, and that can be done because we can use the existing resources that we have at our disposal, especially the professional, professional employees that we have, operating at a village level. Now, the point is, it is a matter of basically establishing a, database for that particular community. It's a matter of basically having profiles of the household. And in these households, you will have all these people that we are talking about. Children, youth, disabled people, elderly people, unemployed people, poor people. You have all these people in household. They are not hanging in there. They are on the ground. They are in each and every household. So you can actually develop the profile of a household. You can say in this household there is this vulnerable person. In this household there are these two vulnerable people. Now the point is that there are institutions that are supposed to serve each one of these constituencies. Children, malnutrition, children. There are agencies operating not just at national but also. So the point is that I'm thinking about what we can do right now with the resources that we have. Because in the long run, you can come up with the best plan and so on and so forth, but then people can't wait. In Sri Lanka, the people cannot wait. They need the support here and now. So we are going to be pragmatic. While thinking, in the long term, while coming out with long-term policies, while we are doing all that, certainly we have to do that, and we can easily do that within the universities and so on. But the fact of the matter is that we have to be pragmatic, come up with a plan of action now. I think for that you can establish the system, and these days collecting data, you don't have to even just run around too much because you can get the data even remotely. Because if you train a few people in a village, and then if you establish a cell in that village, and there we will have only a computer and 2 or 3 people to do it, and then we have enough people to do it. And if we test it out, and then then it is a transparent system, and you can address this politicization issue. You can address the issue of duplication. You can address the problem of exclusion, and so on and so forth. So if you really want to make sure that we don't leave anyone behind or no one behind, then this is the way to do it. You can't do it from Colombo. You can't do it, at the National Institute. They will have all the data that you want, but then the point is that they are statistics. But what we need is not statistics. We need real-time data relating to, individuals who exist in that particular location, in that particular household. And anyone, with the GIS map, you can even map this household. In a village, you may have about 500 to 700 households. and you can easily put this data on a GIS map. You can say, in this household, you have, this level of vulnerability. Or you can say that you can identify children who really need immediate attention, elderly people who really need, even, let's say, daily, support, social support. So I think what we have to do, given the circumstances in Sri Lanka, while we work on the long term, while we work on the macro policies, while we work on the development of institutions, developing human resources and so on, all that should continue, but let's start now with this very pragmatic approach, and that is to establish a system at a community level and then keep an eye on these people, provide the support that they need now. I think if we do that, I think we will make a difference, and that would certainly be appreciated by people who deserve the support of all of us who are here in this office.
Yes, excuse me. I have one thing to senior professor here. It is a different opinion what you have suggested here. In Sri Lanka, we have policies, original policies, very good policies. But all these policies mixed with colors. Colors. When government A comes, they mix one color and they set policies based on their colors. Then thereafter, after 14 years or 5 years or 7 years or 10 years, then color changed, the government changed. They said for the same committee or different committee, maybe highly there is a possibility to change the committee, and there are few intellectual and non-intellectual mixed together based on that political agenda. Then they said the same as, the similar policies, altogether same, not more different, because they say it is Sri Lanka. Then again, when they come to this implementation part, then they recruit people to implement. That is also based on the colors and based on the political agenda. So these are the basic areas that we have to think as a professionals, as a youth, as an academics. Whatever the government comes and change and go, we have to think and we have to have a memorandum of understanding. Yes, it is a, it is a psychological understanding. No, we are the member of this country. We have to set these policies, not to change, to implement. So today, sir, you are setting up policies. You have very good experience than me. You have developed, you have contributed a lot, but that is not in the practice today. If you see, sir, I hope that you agree, and this forum will agree. So those are the areas. So here I emphasize youth, students, professional, practitioners, intellectuals. Everybody have to come together and set policies that is for a sustainable, without any color, without any political agenda. So I had a few kind of suggestions over to you. Yes.
Let me make a quick. We certainly have a huge governance issue. We all recognize it, and that is the debate that is happening in the country today. And people are hoping that there will be a peace. Not in the way that we think it, not in terms of color, but in terms of political orientation. You see, the point here is we have to do the basics now. In fact, recently I have been working on something called Citizen Charter. That is cutting across all these people and all the principles and values and standards and all that is there in that. I can share that then when we come here, group of professionals and then we discuss, these certain things. And I think we cannot discuss everything under the sun in the meeting. But on the other hand, your point is well taken, and I think we have to work on those lines. But I think the point is that if we really accept that governance is so critical, and we really figure out what governance should be. Actually, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. We are just one country in this world. There are so many other countries which we can learn from. I think the whole idea of international conference is to really compare notes, learn from each other, look at who is doing what, how with what effect. Now that is obviously, but then all that knowledge is there. I don't think that there is anything mysterious about, if you do this is what going to happen. So I think we are really not alone, and we are in a situation where we can see what went wrong. And in fact, in Sri Lanka, not that anything went wrong all the time. There are certain things that happen, and as I already mentioned, some of us are here because we did crime in the past. But now the question is how to do it. I think the Sustainable Development Goals, 17 of those, basically covers everything that we are talking about, all the issues that we have to address. So including climate change. So the point is that that framework is with us now. We have come a long way in development discourse, and we have ended up with this Sustainable Development Framework. And I don't think that there's any problem in really working within that framework. And I think we do, and if everybody gets this into their head, and if we think in terms of sustainability, then I think we are moving in the right direction. The point is that if you don't work on sustainability and get to the score, and climate change is here. Climate change is playing havoc. And we are going through that process here in Sri Lanka. Because Sri Lanka is one of the most vulnerable countries to climate change. And the point is that people have started even talking about it. Even people on the street start talking about climate change. This is a change. So the point is that because academics tend to be far ahead of others. Because they sit here and they look back and they look forward. So they are right in the middle. And I think in the 19th century, towards the end of 19th century, some of our senior sociologists actually they were talking about certain things which are really relevant for today. The point is they talk about the state. What is the state? What should be the form of the state? What is the role of the state? How people relate to the state? All these issues were discussed towards the end of the 19th century. I'm a sociologist and Emil Durkheim. He elaborated all these things and so on. And so the point is that we have the knowledge that has been generated by intellectuals and academics and so on. We have at our disposal. And we have to, this is our common heritage. And I think we should not be lost. And I think we have to find our way. And I think there is a vibrant discussion today in Sri Lanka as to how we should really move forward. I think that is one of the discussions that we have. So I have a feeling that we should do, there's one thing that you have to do what is possible, what is necessary, wherever and when